the majority of the population, American population, is based, needs the government in some way or form to survive. So how does libertarians solve the fact that if 80 million people stop getting their check, they'll probably turn around and kill everyone with room?
Yeah, I know. That's what it gets. The next step.
No, seriously, because there's not enough food, and there's 80 million of them, and
right.
So that's a legitimate concern.
That's the next
point of return.
question to deal with. And if prices come down, that's what happened during the Depression. Prices come down. That really helps out.
Will not come down for food. That was happened then. That will not
it's
happen this time.
artificially inflated by the government now. Our food prices.
No, they're artificially suppressed right now.
Both.
Well, they're both. They have floor ceilings. They have price ceilings and price floors depending on.
Farming is heavily subsidized.
Right. Farming is the most
farming is subsidized.
Yeah. Farming is the most unproductive. I mean, the profit margins on farming is next to nothing, so it has to be subsidized.
Well, that's because the cost of living is really high. That's what we always miss out. It's like you have to understand that all our problems come from the cost of living being really high. So that's when the cost of their chemicals, the cost of their...
And I'm actually glad you brought that up, because I actually did a study on this one. When we talked about this, actually is not a sustainable farm here, right, because their water comes from Northern California, not Southern California.
Okay.
If they had to pay the actual price of water...
They do pay for water.
They do pay for it, but it's a highly subsidized price.
They figured out how to cut their water. They have a thing where they use clay pots.
It's funny you brought this one up, but yeah, it's not sustainable.
Okay, the thing is, everybody, back in the days of World War II, they had victory gardens. Everybody in America, I think a third of the crops and food in America was grown in victory gardens, which is these people planted up to their lots. If we took off our stupid lawns, which are useless, and
we had a lot less people in the world then, and a lot more water.
Well, I find it impossible to believe less people, meaning that that's a fallacy that's promoted by people that want to, in a sense, create fear.
So more people don't drink more water?
More people means more productivity. More productivity means more products. The idea that there's not enough resources is something. Malthus brought that up in like 1600.
There's not enough productivity in the world to sustain so many people.
No, there is, and that's the myth. And that's the problem is that all the productivity has been either burned, either intentionally by mismanagement, or it's been transferred up to the wealthy 1% and or the 10%. And that's what we see in the graphs. So when the reason this happens is because it's a fiat money type of process where that group of people have been given the privilege of being able to print their money, and in that process they transfer the wealth from everybody else. We have this hierarchy and these hardships due to our money system, and if we didn't have that, all the benefits of the industrial age were wasted in the wars. Orwell said it was intentional, that we would have a problem with this lower class being elevated and the upper class essentially losing its power. So we somehow ended up in a non-stop war for the whole entire century. And there's nothing that destroys excess wealth better than wars. Nothing. And then also we have this new thing on top of it where we're printing up money instead of actually, so we're transferring wealth in that process. So everybody is working harder every single day, and the money is increasingly going upwards, And so the illusion is that we have scarcity, and we don't have scarcity.
And I want to jump in on this real quick. I find it hard to believe this is something with the low profit margins. I don't mean to jump on you, but I'm gonna.
Oh, it is low profit margins.
I'm totally, bro. Go for it.
I'm totally going to attack you.
Well, I was in business for 20 years, and that's the issue, is that I couldn't make a living. That's why I've been studying this. And it's like, why can't I make a living if I'm working every single minute? Now, and you see this whole distortion of the economy. Oh, okay, now I can. Because I should be able to work every day and make a living, with my back.
And that's what they're saying with
I should do a lot.
Well, it depends on what your living's doing. If your living is doing nothing,
if I'm making a
you should be paid for it.
I'm putting on roofs, and then I was making planters. I was making stone planters. So it was real. I was creating real wealth, and I was creating it at a very reasonable price and a very good product.